So look at your phone for a second. Somewhere on there, you've got a fitness tracker, a banking app, and a calendar. That's 3 apps. You probably check all 3 every single day. And not one of them talks to the other 2. And here's the thing, that's the actual problem, not your discipline, not your motivation. You're managing your health, your money, and your time as 3 separate things. And they're not 3 separate things. They're 3 gauges in one system. So that's what this video is. I'm going to show you the system. I'm going to show you the 3 capitals, health, wealth, and time, and how they trade against each other whether you notice it or not. Why all 3 of them drain on their own, even when you're doing nothing wrong. And then a one-page tool, the scorecard, that puts all 3 gauges on a single dashboard so you can find the leak. This is the first video in a series. After this, we're going to go gauge by gauge and one measurement at a time. Okay, so let's start with why it's one system and not 3. Health and wealth behave like capital. You can build muscle back after losing it. You can rebuild savings after draining it. It costs you, like health buys back at a worse rate every decade. But the direction goes both ways. You can lose it, you can get it back. They refill. Now look at time. It's the only one of the 3 that never refills. There's no deposit function. Nobody's ever earned back a Tuesday that they lost. And that changes everything about the other 2. Because every workout, every hour you work, every skill that you build gets paid for out of the non-refillable account, and that's time. Time isn't one of the 3 resources. It's the currency that the other 2 are priced in, and most people spend it like it's the cheapest of the 3. That's the someday illusion, the quiet assumption that there will always be more of it. Your time is the one place where that assumption is flatly wrong. So if time is the base currency, then the 3 are trading against each other constantly. You don't get to opt out of that. You only get to not watch it happen. You can only ignore it. Look at the actual trades here. A health crash is a wealth crash. Ask anybody who's had one. Money can buy hours back. You can outsource things. You can automate things. You can say no to side jobs. But bad sleep shrinks your usable day long before it shortens your life. And the classic one, I'll just work more or I'll just work harder, that trade goes through every time and it's priced in your health. You pay for it, you just pay it on a delay. Which is why fixing one gauge in isolation keeps failing you. You crush it at work and your body sends you the bill. You go all in at the gym and your time pays for it. The system doesn't stop trading just because you're only watching one gauge. That's not a discipline problem. That's an accounting problem. And there's a second thing about this system that you need to know. Its default direction is down. That's called entropy. You've felt this. You get in shape and you slide back. You build up savings and it leaks away. You free up time and it's filled up within a month. And you told yourself the usual story. I'll do better next time. I need to be more disciplined. I just fell off. And I actually want to push back on that story because mechanically it's just wrong. All 3 capitals depreciate by default. That's not your fault. Muscle, money, and minutes, leave any of them alone and they will drain. That's not you failing. That's what the systems do when no one's paying attention to them. Maintenance isn't the boring part of your everyday plan. That's once you build something, you have to maintain it, okay? Getting older, you have to do a little bit more maintenance just to stay where you are. When you save, you have to prepare for inflation. Maintenance is the rent. You weren't falling off the wagon all those times. You just were never told that the rent was due. Okay. So it's one system. It trades constantly and it drains by default, which raises an obvious question. How do you know where you actually stand? There are 2 different readings, and you actually need both of them. One of the readings is how it feels from the inside, and the other reading is how you're doing on the outside. Okay? From the inside, your energy, how wealthy you feel, how much of your time you feel like really belongs to you. You can rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. And then we can go look at the objective factors. What's the other reading? How many real nights of sleep have you gotten? What's your real savings rate? How many of your hours do you actually own of your own time? And here's the thing though, on their own, both of these things kind of lie. Feelings drift with your mood. You can feel great while the numbers quietly fall apart. And the numbers can miss what it feels like to actually live your life. Try it real quick. Take a look at your fitness tracker. On a scale of 1 to 10, how does your energy feel when you woke up this morning? Now, check what your actual fitness tracker said your body battery or whatever is. Did they match? Are the numbers the same or are they vastly different? Because one number can tell two different stories, depending on how your subjective feeling goes and your objective feeling goes. Because when you put the two lanes side by side, it's actually the space between them, that gap. That's the real finding, not the feeling and not the number that's on your watch or on your phone. It's the gap that we want to utilize. So now that you've got the three capitals and you've got the readings, which means you've got three gaps. Okay, so we've got health, wealth, and time, and then we've got objective and subjective positions. And here's where everybody goes wrong. They try to fix all three at once. So you see these gaps and you're like, oh my God, I got to fix these things. So you get a new diet, a new budget, a new time plan, and you do it all on Monday. Working on everything is how you fix nothing. You already know that. You've already ran this experiment probably on a January. And by the time February came around, it was totally dead on arrival. So instead of looking at all three of the capitals, you look at the three gaps. Whichever capital has the biggest gap between how you feel and what the numbers actually say, that's not just a finding, that's a leak. Maybe your energy score is a 9, but your sleep log says that you're getting 5 hours a night. That's a gap, not noise. That's the leak, and it's probably dragging down your money decisions, it's probably affecting how you eat, and it's probably affecting your workouts. Maybe it's time itself. You'd swear you have none, but if you logged it the same way you log food for a nutrition plan, you find out that it's a very different story. Every person's different, but there's always one gap bigger than the other two, and that's the one that you fix first, not by mood, not by whichever capital you feel guilty about, but by the size of the gap, that one leak. That's the whole assignment. And once you've found it, here's how you make the fix actually hold. Because you found these things before, you know what's wrong, and you actually need to find a way to structurally manage it. You've scored the gap, you've named the leak, and it still doesn't hold. Why? Because the plan was always just try harder. And willpower is not a mechanism. It's not a muscle that you build. It's not a tank that you fill. It's the thing that your plan defaults to when there actually isn't a complete plan. The skilled practitioner doesn't outwill temptation. They outdesign it. So the fix is never care more. The fix is structural. It's change the default, rearrange the environment, automate the transfer, put the phone in the other room, systemize it out. My test for every plan is one question. What does this depend on when I'm tired? If the answer is remembering or willpower, it's not finished yet. No willpower should be required. That should never be in the plan. So here's the whole video in one line. You've been running 3 gauges with no dashboard. The scorecard is the dashboard. All 3 capitals, both lanes, 1 page. It doesn't label you, it doesn't judge you, it locates you, and the gap tells you where to look first. So that's the whole system. Health, wealth, and time. One system. It trades whether you watch it or not. It drains by default. The gap is the real finding, and you fix the leak with design, not discipline. If you want your own dashboard, go take the scorecard. It's linked in the description below. It takes about 10 minutes and it locates you on all three capitals. And from here, this series goes gauge by gauge. Next video is the functional fitness battery. We're going to do 3 physical checks that you can run at home that tell you more about how your body's actually holding up than most lab work. So I will see you there.